Okay. So yesterday I told you about the exception handling, right? What is the exception? What is the exception handling? I told you. So we took the one scenarios also. Suppose we have a daily routine, like we will wake up, we will get ready, and we will take our bike and we will come to our office. So sometimes raining will come, or sometimes your bike got punctured. So what we say to that thing? Exception or error? That is the exception, right? If your bike got punctured, if raining is there, so what you will do? You will find alternative ways to solve that problem, right? If your bike got punctured, you will come by walk. If your bike will puncture, so you will get the cab and you will come, right? So means we are just finding the alternative ways to solve that exception. That is only known as the exception handling. Suppose if I tell you means exception and error. So exception, it is the unexpected or unwanted event only which can be handled. But error is the exception, means unwanted or unexpected event only, but which cannot be handled. That is called as the error. If you take the example of the error, suppose we are coming to the office and we had an accident. So can we able to come? Somebody will come. They have the motivation and all, so they will come. But many people will not come, right? They will go to the hospital only, right? So this is the difference between error and the exception. Okay, so yesterday we saw about the raining and about the puncture. For Pavitra, raining is not the exception, right? That is the error. Okay, so exception and error we saw. So today we will see the types of difference between the exception and error. So what is meant by exception? Exception occur because of our program. Okay, so whatever mistakes we will do, from that mistakes only its exception will come. But error will come because of the lack of system resources. Suppose I want to print something but printer is not there, so whose fault is this? That is the error, right? Suppose printer is not there, so how we will print this thing, right? So that is error will come by the system resources. Okay, and that will be handled by the system administrator, right? But exception is come by because of our programmer. So because of our program, so programmer can easily handle that exception. But error will not handle by the programmer. Error will handle only by the system administrator, right? Suppose I want to see something, but monitor is not there. So can we able to see that? No, right? Suppose if you want to print something, but printer is not there, so can we able to print anything? No, right? So that is the error, and this is the exception. Exception is come because of the program, and error will come because of the system resources, lack of system resources. After that, just now I told you, exception are recoverable, but error are not the recoverable. Just we took the example of the raining and the accident. If raining will come, means that is the exception, means we can find the alternative way and we will not disturb our normal flow. But error will come, so it will disturb our normal flow. Right, definitely it will disturb our normal flow. Our daily routine is the daily we have to come to the office. If raining will come, so we will take the umbrella and we will come. But so if one day accident will happen, it will not happen. If accident will happen, so what we will do? We will not come to office. No, means our daily routine will be disturbed. So that is called as the error. Okay. Exception have the two types. That is compile time or the checked exception, and runtime exception. That is the unchecked exception. Okay, compile time it is also called as the checked exception, and runtime it is also called as the unchecked exception. And error have only one type, that is the runtime exception. All the runtime exception are the errors only. Okay, runtime exception or the unchecked the exception. Okay, if I show you the hierarchy, this is the hierarchy of our exception. Object class is the class means class is a parent class of the all the classes which are present inside the Java. If anybody will ask you which is the parent class of the all the classes inside the Java, so object is the parent class of the all the classes which are present inside the Java. After that, throwable is the interface. Okay. And after that, we have here the exception class. Throwable having the two classes, that is the exception as well as the error. Okay. Throwable is the interface. Inside the exception, we have a multiple classes. These are all are the classes only here. Class not found, IO exception, no such method exception, SQL exception, then runtime exception, interrupted exception, runtime exception, and these all are the red color line, no, which you are seeing. That is called as the runtime exception, and this is called as the compile time exception. Okay, and these all are the error only, but these are the exception, no, come into the errors also. Okay, this all the things will be coming to the errors also, but this error we cannot able to solve, but this error we can able to solve. Like arithmetic exception we can able to solve, means we can find the alternative way. Class cast exception, null pointer exception, index out of bound exception. When this will come, that is the index out of bound. In array we saw, right? if we declare the array with the 5 element and if we add the sixth element, so which error will be give? Which exception? That is index out of bound exception, right? Array index out of bound exception it will be give. After that, illegal argument exception, this we will see inside the multi-threading concept. Number format exception, this we will see. This inside when we will do the program now, automatically we will know that what is this exception, what is this exception. Okay, if I tell you means this will take 2 to 3 days. A one exception. If I have to tell this means it will take lots of days. So simple, what you need to do? Simply you have to understand that arithmetic exception. You know that if you do this program means you will easily understand what is this program, what is this exception, and what is the thing this exception will, why this exception will come. You will easily understand. Like array index of out of bound. I told you this thing, no, right? But you know that thing. How? So you practice this and you know that thing. That is the array out of bound exception. Out of bound means suppose if you have 5 element array, we declare the element with the 5. Okay, and if you are adding the sixth element there, so which error exception it will give? Is the array index out of bound exception. Okay, you will see multiple errors inside the multi-threading, multiple exception in multi-threading, and we will see multiple exception inside the collection also. Okay, no need to worry about that. Okay, so this is the all the hierarchy of our exception, and here exception is the parent class. Inside the parent class all the child class is present as the class not found exception or exception. These are the few errors only. We have thousands of exception. Okay, these are the few exceptions only. We have thousands of exceptions. These are the mostly common exception that will come. Okay, so anybody have any doubt here? Sometimes we are using try and catch, no? So sometimes we are using directly this exception, or you can use this exception also, because all these are parent class only, no? This is the parent class, so all the child class are present inside the parent class. If you use parent class also, that is also okay. Or if you are using the child class, single child class, that is also okay. I will tell you how to use that. Okay, after that, suppose exception will come, so how it will handle the exception? Yesterday I told you, suppose if we take the example, and here I am writing system dot out. Here I am writing 1. Simple, I will copy this thing, and after that, here I writing 2, then 3 I am writing, then 4, then 5, and here I am writing 6. If I print this one, so what will the value will get? What will be the value we will get it? 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we are getting on the console. Right? If I run this, see from here, if I run, so 1 to 6 we will get it on the console. After that, suppose if I writing here 100 divided by 20. So exception it will come? Yes. So which value it will come here? 5? Yes, bro. Compile time error. More compile time error will come. 5? Error or 5? If I run this one, so why 5 will be 5 will be print on the console. So why if we divide 100 by 20, so 5 will come, no? So that is the thing. 1 will be print, and 2, 3, then here it will be 5 will be print, then again 5, and then 6. Suppose now I am writing here 100 divided by 0. Can we able to divide 100 divided by 0? Now if I run this one, so exception will come. Which exception? Arithmetic exception. Okay, if I run this one, arithmetic exception will come on the console. Okay, and after that, see 5 and 6 is not printing on the console, right? 5 and 6 is not also printing on the console. Why? If exception will come, so what it will do to JVM? JVM firstly abnormally terminate the program here only. What it will do? First, it will be abnormally terminate the program here. Where is the exception? Here is the exception. So here only it will abnormally terminate the program. Means after that whatever we will write, it will not print that. See here 5 and 6 it is printing. No, right? 5 and 6 it is not printing. So method in which the exception occur, after that what will happen? Abnormally it have terminate the program. After that what it will be do? The method in which exception is occur, that method will create an object. So in which method we have a exception now? Main method. So simply I will copy this thing and we will come to paint. Here I will paste it means here. Okay. So now first step is done. It will abnormally terminate the program, and another step is that the method in which the exception is came, that method will create an object. Simple main method will create an object now. In this method only exception is offered. No. So this method will create an object. So simple. It will create an object like that. And inside that object, it will add three things. Which are that three things? First is the exception name or exception class, we can say that. Okay. After that, description, and after that, stack trace. Oh, sorry. Okay. So it will make the object. First, what it will do? If exception will come, JVM will see this line. It will abnormally terminate the program here only. After that, the method in which exception will occur, that method will create an object, and inside that object, it will add three things: exception name, description, and stack trace. After that, what JVM will do? JVM will ask to that method, do you handling the exception or not? Okay, do you handling the exception or not? If it is handling the exception, so if we are able to see that they are try and catch, inside the catch what we are writing, handling code, right? Inside the catch we are writing the handling code, so handling code it will be print on the console. But if you are not handling the code, if you are not handling the exception, so what it will do? It will hand over this object to the default exception handler. JVM will hand over this object to the default exception handler, and default exception handler simply will print this object. So inside the object what we have, first thing is the exception. Sorry. First thing we have, that is the exception name. So see here into the our console. First is the exception name. So this is our exception name. Which is the exception? Arithmetic exception. After that, another thing we have, that is the description. So this is our description. Why we are getting the exception? Divide by 0. After that, stack trace. In which line we have error? Exception. In which class we have exception? In which package we have exception? Or in which line we have exception? It will give all the information into the stack trace. Okay. Now another scenario is that, suppose now we are handling the exception. So we will try to handle this exception here. Okay. Try. And inside the try, what we will write? Here we will write risky code. Right. So which is the risky code now? Here. Here is the risky code, right? We know that maybe in this line our exception will come. So this line we will write into the try. Okay. Try block we will write it here. And after try, with the try we will simply write here catch block. Block. And inside the parenthesis, what we will write? That is the exception class name. Which types of exception will come? This type of exception is there arithmetic exception. Either you can write this class or you can write the parent class also, because in this class all the exception will present, right? Arithmetic exception or the null pointer exception, all the exception will come into this exception, because this is the parent class of the all the exception inside the Java, right? So this is the, either you can use parent class or you can use the single child class. So which exception is coming here? There is arithmetic exception. Okay. Now after that, simply you can write here inside the catch we are what we will write handling code, or we can say that this is the alternative way, right? This is the alternative way. We can say that if exception will come, we have to print some alternative way. So this can be a handling code, or we can say that this is a alternative way. Suppose here our bike will puncture, so what we will do? We will come by the bike. Right, this is the alternative way we are writing inside the catch. Simply we write here alternative way. So I am writing here not divided by 0. Simple. Okay. If we will divide 100 divided by 0, so what will it will print? Not divide by 0. Simple. If I print this one now, so what it will print? Exception or not divide by 0? See, not divide by 0 and 5, 6. If I write here 50 means, if I write 50 means 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay. Now see here. So here system.out I wrote. After that, suppose I am writing anything. System.out, and here I am writing hello. So hello will be print this time or not? Yes. Yes. Hello is printing. Right. It will become here. It will become here. After that, it will come here. Right. Okay, so here it will become and it will print hello also, right? Now if I write like that, 100 divided by 0, now it will print hello or not? Yes or no? Why it will not print? It will, hmm? Yes, it will print. Okay, it will print this line. Here is the exception, right? So it will print hello or not? Okay, if I run this one, see hello is not printing. Why? See, GBM will come first here, that is a 1, 2, 3, it will be print. After that, here it will become, here is our error, right? Here is our exception. And what we are writing inside the try block? Risky code. So whenever it will see the exception, it will directly go into the catch block. Whatever we write downside also, it will not see that things. Okay? So whenever it will see this exception here, it will directly come into the catch block. So after that, we have a hello no, so it will not print that one also. Okay, so that's why we are using the finally. So why we are using finally here? Suppose I will give you the example. I am not using file writing or I will not teach you file reading or file writing. Okay, so that is the exceptional part. So what we are doing here? Simply suppose I am opening the file here. Suppose I am opening the file here. File open. Okay, I am not writing the code because it will be get confused. So suppose I am opening the file here and I am simple here closing the file. Okay, simple. Here I am opening the file and here I am closing the file. Okay, so sometimes what will happen inside a try block, sometimes what will happen, if some exception will come into this file open, okay, here only exception will come. So where it will be go? Suppose see, I am telling you again. So we have two lines here, there is the file open and the close file, where we wrote all the things inside the try block. Inside the try block, what we will write? Risky code, right? So here I have opened the file and here I have closed the file. Suppose exception is occur in this line. Exception is occur in this line only. So can it will execute this line? Can it will be execute this line, that is the close file? Why? If wherever it will see the exception, it will directly come into the catch block. So suppose we are opening the file here, but we are not closing the file. So if we are not closing the file, so our file will be remain open. So that is not the good things. Anybody will access our file, or anybody we have, if you have data here, suppose we have opened the data here, data open, and here we are close the data. Okay, suppose we are closing the data here. Suppose our data is open here. Suppose sometimes exception will occur here, so our data will not close, right? Sometimes data is open here and exception is occur in this line only, so our data will not close here, right? Our data will not close here. So directly where it will be go? Directly into the catch block. Our data is still open here, so anybody will open our data, anybody will leak our data. So that is not the good thing. So for that, what we are writing? Simply, and here what we will write? Close data. Okay, means if error will occur or error will not occur, it will close the data all the time. So here what we are writing inside the final block, that is the clean up. Okay, closing the database or closing the file, all the operation we are writing inside the finally block. Okay, I told you yesterday, if error exception will occur or exception will not occur, every time finally block will get executed. Okay, suppose here we are opening the data and after that we have an exception here. Okay, suppose we are opening the data here and inside this line only we have an exception. So can it will be close the data? No, right? If we have an exception in this line only, so it will not close the data, right? Just now we saw one example. So it will not close the data, it will directly come into the catch block. So that's why we are simply writing the finally block. Every time it will close the data, every time it will be close the database, or every time it will be close the file. If exception will occur, if exception will not occur, every time it will close the data or every time it will be close the file. Okay, this is little bit for the security purpose. Okay, so why we are using the finally block? To write the cleanup code, right? Like we can able to close the data here, close the database here, or close the connection also here. We will write into the finally block. Okay, if I told you the that is the file read file of write operation, you will be confused. That's why I'm telling in the word only. Okay, okay, so that is the thing. So these are the try, catch, and the finally. Can we able to try with the finally? Can we able to write try with the finally? Can it will be execute? See, I am writing here system.out, and here I am writing 100 divided by 0. Okay. So whenever exception will come, we knows that whenever exception will come and we are not handling that, so it will be abnormally terminate our program, right? If I remove here, remove from the okay, I'm removing try and catch now. And suppose I am running this one, so what it will be print? 5 6 it will be print or not? No, right? If I run this one, 1 2 3 it will be print. After that, here is the exception. If exception will come, it will be abnormally terminate the program here only. After that, wherever the exception is come in the method in which the exception will come, that method will create an object, and inside the object it will add three things: exception name, description, and stack text. Then JVM will ask to that method if we are handling the exception or not. If that method handling the exception, so whatever things which we are writing inside the catch block, it will be printed. If it is not handling the code, so what it will do? It will give that code to the, it will hand over that object to the default exception handler, and default exception handler will simply print that object, right? And whatever things we have inside that object, we will get it on the console. Like this one is the our exception name, this one is the, and this one is our stack trace. Okay. Now suppose here we have a try we are writing. Okay. And inside that we are writing this code. So this is our this code. So I am simply writing it here. Okay, and after that simply can be able to write here finally. And here I am writing, so it will not out, and here I am writing hello. Okay, so what will be the output now?
1 2 3 hello.
5 6.
No.
5 6 it will be print or not? It will not print, or it will be print?
It will be.
Yes.
It will be this one.
Yes. Live is going on. Okay. Okay. So see. Here. Okay. See, if I write like that, we can able to write one try with the one finally. Okay. We can write one finally with the one try. Okay. See, if I write like that, so can it will be print 5 6?
No.
No. We will try to run this one. See, 5 6 it is not printing. Why? Finally it is printing, right? Clean up code. Yes. Clean up code we are writing into the finally only. So here 5 6, why it is not printing? Why we are using the catch block? To writing the handling code. We are handling any code here. We are handling any code here. So what it will be do? If you are not handling the code, it will abnormally terminate the program. We can able to write try with the finally, but this time it will be abnormally terminate the program. But if you write here catch also like that, so now it will not abnormally terminate the program this time. Okay, here whatever you want you can write it here, or you can directly print this object also. This e object is there, no? You can directly print that object also. Inside object we have three things, same things it will be print, that is the exception name, description, and the stack trace. Okay, see if I run this one, see this thing only printing. This is the object I am printing. Which object? That is the exception name, description, and stack trace. Okay, so this is the thing, it is printing on the console, and it is not abnormally terminate the program also here, right? So if you want to use finally, we have to use with the catch. If you directly use finally with the try, so what it will do? It will be execute, but it will be abnormally terminate the program there only. Okay, now another thing is that can we use multiple catch with the one try?
Yes.
Yes. System.out I am writing here.
Exception only one try catch. Is that command key that we need to write automatic expression inside the catch?
This one? No. Here you can write, this is the parent class. I showed you the hierarchy, no? This is the hierarchy. See, inside the hierarchy, where is the hierarchy? See here, the exception, this one is our parent class. Inside the parent class, many child methods are, child classes are present. Class not found, I exception, no such method, that is arithmetic exception, class exception. This all the classes are present inside this class, single class. Either you can use this class. If you use this class means all the classes will become. Either you can use this parent class, or you can use single child classes. Okay. So,
we need to write exception.
yes. You need to write here. Which exception will come, you have to write there. So here I am writing arithmetic exception, here I am writing the exception. So can we able to write multiple catch with the single try? So yes. Okay, we can able to write multiple catch with the single try, and inside that we can able to write multiple exception. Here I am handling arithmetic exception. Here I am handling the parent exception. This is the parent class exception. We can able to handle here the interrupted exception also. Any exception you want, you can write it here. Okay, another exception, another, if you want to create another one, so that also you can able to create. Okay, interrupted exception. Okay, okay. So this is the another thing. We'll take another thing here.
If any spelling mistake is done, it will show error.
Yes, bro. So that is the interrupt exception. This is the arithmetic exception. This is the class cast exception. Okay. So with the try, we are writing the multiple catch. If you want to write multiple catch with the single try, you can able to write. But if you want to write multiple try with the single catch, can we able to write it? See, if I write multiple try with the single catch, can we able to write this? So no, we cannot able to write multiple try with the single catch. We can able to write multiple catch with the single try, but we cannot able to write multiple try with the single catch. Okay. So here now another thing is that suppose I am writing here arithmetic exception inside the another one. Sorry, arithmetic exception. Suppose I am writing this arithmetic exception here. Okay, and here I am writing only the exception. Can we able to write it now? Can we able to write it? It is giving the error. Why?
Wait, I'm not right.
Yes.
Two ways we need.
So yes, to try we have to do.
Under the
We can able to write multiple try with the multiple catch with the single try. We can able to write, but now it is not giving the error. See now, if I write like that means here I am writing exception only. Now it is not giving any error. See, but if I write here, if I remove from here, that is the arithmetic exception. I will write here arithmetic exception, and here only I am writing the exception. So this time it is giving the error. Why?
when you create two try answers.
No, see, this is the exception I told you. This exception is a parent class. Inside this parent class, all the classes will come. See, inside this one, arithmetic exception will also come. So if we are handling the arithmetic exception here only, so why we are defining another arithmetic exception here? So that's why it is giving the error. If you are writing parent class here, so you cannot able to write child class after the another catch. Okay, so if you are writing here parent class, so see, this is the parent class exception. Inside the parent class exception, we have a arithmetic exception also. See, inside the exception, this arithmetic exception will come, class pass, null pointer, all these will come. So if any exception will come, that is the arithmetic exception will come, that will come into this catch block, and that will be handle also. Then why we are writing arithmetic exception again? So that's why it is giving error. Okay, if you are declaring parent class here, so you are not able to declare the child class there after the parent class. Okay, this is the try and the catch. We can able to write multiple catch with the single try, but we cannot able to write multiple try with the single catch. Okay, and we cannot able to write multiple try with the multiple catch as well. See, if I write here try, and if I write here another catch, so can we able to write that? No, right?
No.
We cannot able to write multiple try with the multiple catches. Okay. Can you be able to write try with the finally?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right. But that time what will happen? Our program will be abnormally terminated. It will be executed, but our program will be abnormally terminated. Now, another scenario we will take. Now we are getting where we are getting the exception in which method? Inside the main method we are getting the exception. Now what we are doing is simply we will try to create a method, and inside that we will try to create our exception. What is this thing? So I'm creating a method here. How to create a method? Yes, public void method name. Right. Inside that, what I am doing is simply I am creating a exception here. Okay. Now, what will happen here? See, I told you before, right? If exception will come here. So what JVM will do? JVM will come here, and wherever exception is there, in there, what will it will do? It will abnormally terminate the program. And wherever exception will come, the method in which exception is came, that method will create an object. Inside that object, it will add three things: exception name, description, and this tag trace. Now, where is our exception? Inside the M1 method. Now, who will create an object? M1 method, right? M1 method. After that, what it will do after creating that object, JVM will ask to that method, do you handling the exception or not? Right? JVM will ask to that method, right? Do you handling the exception or not? Right? If that method is handling the exception, it will print whatever we write inside the catch block. But if you are not, if that method is not handling the exception, it will hand over that exception, that is the object, to the default exception handler, and default exception handler simply will print that. Now, we'll take the scenario here. So here is the exception. Now if I run this one, so what will happen? See, then as we are not calling the okay. If I run this one now, so exception will come. Right. So what will happen now? So simply I will copy this thing from here and we will come into the code. Okay, so these are program. So here see. If I run this one, so where JB will go first? Into the main method, right? And from here, object.m1, from here we are calling the method, right? This method, so we can say that this is the main method is our caller method, right? Main method is caller method, means from main method we are calling the m1 method, right? From where we are calling the m1 method, from the main method. So we can say that main method is our caller method. From here we are calling the em1 method. So main method is our caller method, we can say that. Which method is this? Caller method. This is the important thing, okay? That is the caller method. This is our caller method. So from here we are calling the M1 method, and here we have an exception. So whenever the JVM see the exception, what it will do first? It will abnormally terminate the program here, right? It will abnormally terminate the program, and after terminating the program, what it will do? The method in which exception is came, that method will create an object, and in that object it will add three things. Which is that three things? Exception name, description, and this tag trace. Okay. After that, what JVM will do? JVM will ask to that method, do you handling the exception or not? So here we are handling the exception. No. So what this method will say? No, I'm not handling the exception, right? So after that, what will happen? After that, what will happen? Can it will be deliver that object to the default exception handler? So no, it will not hand over now. So what it will do? Wherever the caller method is there, no, the method which is calling this method, it will ask to that caller method now. JVM will ask to that caller method, do you handling the exception or not? First, it will ask to this method, the method in which exception is came, no, it will ask to that method first. That is the M1 method. Okay, do you handling the exception or not? It will say I'm not handling the exception. After that, what JVM will do? JVM will ask to the caller method. So which is the caller method here? Main method. So it will ask this main method, do you handling the exception or not? So what this method will say also? No, I am not exception. I am not handling the exception. So this time what will it will be do? If this method will also deny and this method will also deny, so that time JVM will give that object to the default exception handler. Means from this we can say that we can handle the exception here also, and we can handle the exception here as well. So we will see that we will try to handle this one. Either we can handle the exception with this simple way. What we need to write? If you want to handle the exception, try and catch. Inside it try, what we need to write? ST code. So I will write here ST code. And after that, catch we will write it. Okay. Arithmetic exception. Right? Arithmetic exception. And inside that simple I will print system.out and here I'm printing hello. Okay, now if I run this one means what it will be print hello, it is printing on the console. Okay. Now another thing is that I told you like if exception will come, so what it will do? It will abnormally terminate the program here only. And what it will do? Then it will create an object, and after that it will ask to this method, do you handling the exception or not? So this time this method is handling the exception. Suppose this method is not handling the exception, so what it will be do now? It will ask to the caller method. So which is the caller method here? Main method. From here we are calling the M1 method, right? So this is called as the caller method. So now it will ask to this caller method, do you handling the exception or not? So here also this method is not handling the exception. So this time what we will do, here we will try to handle the exception. How to handle the exception here? Simple, you can write here try. Okay, and instead of try, what we need to write? This calling thing. We have to write here this thing. Here we know that exception will come because in this method only we have exception now. So this thing I am writing here. Now here system.out I am writing again. Simple I am printing here. Hello. Hello. Okay. So if I run this one now, so what it will be print? Hello. Still it is printing hello. If you have doubt on me, I will write here hello. See? Okay. So what it will, JVM will do now? Simply wherever exception is came, there it will be abnormally terminate the program. After that what it will be do? It will ask to miss wherever the exception is came, that method will create an object, simple like that. And inside that object you will add three things, which are that three: exception name, description, and another one, this tag price, right? After that what JVM will do, JVM will ask to this method wherever exception is came, JVM will ask to that method, do you handling the exception or not? So it will ask to this method. So this method will say, I'm not handling the exception. Now what JVM will do? JVM will come into the caller method. So which is the caller method here? Main method. So it will ask to this main method now, do you handling the exception or not? See here we are handling the exception now. So whatever we whatever we wrote the handling code, it will be printed on the console. This is the simple. Okay. Now you know that. Anyone have any doubt? If exception will come into the another method, so what will happen? So anyone will know, anyone will can understand, means anyone can tell, no. If I ask means anyone can able to tell it, no? Okay, can I ask it now? Okay. So see here, if exception will come here, okay, if exception will come here into the another method, so it will ask to the caller method. This is the main thing you have to remember. After that, this is the two ways, that is the try and the catch. Now another one is the finally also we saw that. Inside the finally what we will write? Clean up code. Now another thing is that is the throw and the throw. So inside the throw what we will write? If you want to create an if you want to throw an exception by yourself. Now who is creating this object? Who is creating the object? The method in which exception is occur, that is creating the object. But now what with the help of throw keyword what will happen? Programmer itself create an object and it will give to the default exception handler or the catch block. Okay, how? Simply if you want to use the throw keyword, simply you need to write here like that, throw, and you have to use new, and any exception you can write it here. Arithmetic exception, simple I am writing it like that. Okay, now if I call this one, so what it will do? It will throw the exception. Which type of exception it will be throw? See here, throw new arithmetic exception. So if I run this one, say it will throw the arithmetic exception. Which exception it is throwing? There is if you want to throw the exception by yourself, that time simply you can use throw keyword. Okay, it is mainly used to create a customized exception. If you want to create a customized exception, that time it will we can use the throw. Okay, simply with the help of throw we can able to throw the exception. See here, from here also we can able to throw the exception. Simple I'm writing here system.out, and here I'm writing 1. Okay, and after that suppose simple you will try to write here. Okay, throw I am writing first, and after that new, and any exception you can handle, any exception you can write. Suppose I am writing here that this time interrupted exception. Okay, so now which exception it will be thrown? It is showing here compile time error here only. If I run this one, see which error, which exception it is showing? Interrupt exception. If you want to handle that, you can handle that also. How to handle the exception? Simply we have to use try and the catch block. So I will use inside the try block what we will write? Risky code, and inside the catch block handling code. Which type of exception that is? Interrupted exception. I will write it here. If that exception will come, it will simply print system.out. It will print hello here. Okay, so exception is coming here. If I run this one, so it will print simply hello on the console. As I told you, throw we can use if you want to create a customized exception. So we saw rainy exception, we saw puncture exception also, right? So how to create a customized exception? Simply you need to create first the class. So how to create a class? Class keyword simply we have to use. Which type of exception you want to create? Suppose puncture exception you want to create. So I will write here puncture exception. If I did spelling mistake, so please don't reconsider that. Okay, so puncture exception class I have created because I want to create this exception. Okay, that is the puncture. Any exception you can create, running exception or any exception you can create with the help of this one. First step is that you have to create a class, and after that you have to extend here the parent class. Which is the parent class here? That is the exception. Okay, after that simple you need to create a constructor in this class. So which is how to create a constructor? Public and same name as a class. So I will copy this name and I will paste it here only. Okay, and after that from here you have to simply write here super, and here whatever things you, whatever message you want to pass it here, you can write it. If you are writing it, that is also okay. If you are not writing it, that is also okay. If you want inside the objects, what we have, see exception name, description, and this tag trace. If you want to describe, if you want to provide a description for our exception, for that simply we will write here like that, string str, and simply we will provide here str. This is for the description. This will provide a description for our exception. Okay, so this is the exception we have created. This type of exception we can create. If you want to create your exception, you can create this exception like that. Okay, now see, if we want to use that exception, how we will use that? Simply we can use throw new, and I'm using our exception name. So which type of exception we have created here? I will remove this step. Suppose we will create a method also. Public void ember. Okay, and inside that if you want to throw that exception, how we will use? Simply we will use the throw keyword, right? Throw keyword is used to throw the exception. So throw, then new, and which type of exception we have? Puncture exception. So I will write here puncture exception, and inside that you can pass the whatever value you will pass, that will consider as your description. That is the exception description. So I will write here this is a puncture exception. Okay, this thing I'm writing here. So now it is showing the which type of exception here? That is a puncture exception. Simple, I will come here, I will create an object to call that for class new, and with the help of this one I will create an object. Sorry, with the help of that object, if I call that m1 method, so what it will print? Which type of exception we are getting now? Okay, if you want to create your own exception also, you can create. You can handle this exception also. See how to handle that? With the help of try and the class, right? So simply I will write here try. Inside the try, what we need to do? So which is the risky code? This one, right? After that, here we have to write a catch block. Inside the catch block, what we are writing? Handling code. And inside this one parenthesis, what we are writing? The exception name or exception class name. So which type of exception it is throwing? So you can provide here puncture exception, and you are, if you want to print anything, you can print it here system.out. So simply I am printing e here only. Okay, see here, if I now run this one, see, so whatever I am printing this e, whatever store inside this e, it is printing on the console. See, basic program dot puncture exception, and this is the puncture exception. This is the our description, and this is our which one? That is the exception, it is printing on the console. If you want to create your customized exception, you can able to create with the help of throw keyword. Okay, and how to create that? Simple, you have to create plus class, and after that you have to extend the parent class, that is the exception. Inside that you have to create one constructor. Inside the constructor you have to pass the string str. This is for the description, right? Is here, and in this constructor you have to pass the super for the why we are using super
To represent
parent
the
class.
parent.
So here what it will be called, see, super and the parenthesis, what it will be called, constructor or method? Constructor, right? Super and the parent, this is used to call the parent class constructor. So is the parent class, we have exception, so it will call the parent class constructor from here, which having one string parameter. Okay, so here it will become, and here whatever things we wrote, it will print on the console. Okay, last one is the throws, that we will see later, otherwise you will be get so confused. Okay, now also you confused. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the thing for the exception. Easy only.